Welcome to the Auditorium Speaker Series. My name is Rob Banks, and I'm the Kansas Chapter Counselor and ALA Executive Board elect. I'd like to remind you, please, no flash photography. I would like to say thank you to Little Brown Books for Young Readers for their generous sponsorship of this afternoon's speaker, Mr. Chris Colfer. We're all very excited to hear him. Be sure to join us here tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. for the Auditorium Speaker Series featuring Mr. Dan Ariely. Also keep in mind Wrap Up, Rev Up Monday at 2 p.m. here in the ballroom, featuring closing raffle and entertainment by singer and Grammy nominee Betty LaVette. Best known as Kurt Hummel from the award-winning series Glee, Chris is here today representing his first children's book, The Land of Stories, a combination of classic fairy tales and the modern-day world. Twins Alex and Connor Bailey find themselves immersed in a foreign land full of wonder and magic. The Land of Stories is a fast-paced adventure sure to please. A Golden Globe Award winner, SAG, and two-time Emmy nominee, please join me as we welcome Mr. Chris Colfer.
Thank you so much for coming. Thank you for waiting. He and I kind of match, actually. That's pretty cool. We called each other last night and planned ahead. I'm so excited to be here. Thank you guys so much for waiting. I will get to books in a second. First and foremost, I want to just say something. I don't mean to be controversial here at the ALA, but Disneyland is walking distance from here. And there's about, like 1,000 of us here. I'm pretty sure we could go take that place over. Let's go Bastille style, storm the gates, pull a coup. They're not gonna arrest 1,000 librarians and Chris Colfer from Glee. I mean, that would be the worst press ever. Might as well club baby seals after that. I mean, they're not gonna happen. Well, I'm so excited to be here because I am such a huge fan of librarians. I have been very close with, I think, every librarian I've ever encountered in my education experience. I was always like the TA in elementary school and junior high and especially high school for the librarians. I remember in high school I did not take PE because I had sinuses. And so instead I would go to the library and just kind of help them out. And those librarians, their names was Denise Prickett and Linda Snow. Of course, I didn't call them Denise and Linda, but they were kind of badass librarians. I'm pretty sure that when they retired, they really just went back to the CIA. Because some of their quotes were absolutely legendary. Because those high schoolers they try to take advantage of the system any way they can. Good bourbon. And I'll never forget one day, I think it was Miss Snow that walked by a computer, and she said to the guy that was at the computer, and I quote, "Well, I doubt that's for a health project." It was great. It was great. Sometimes I just be sitting putting books away, and I'd be like, "Oh my God, she's awesome." Are there any librarians from Clovis here, by chance? No, Fresno, cool. What school or penitentiary or what are you from? Oh, nice. Fresno City College? Oh, nice. Okay, awesome. And Fresno State? Awesome. Cool. Good to see you. Where? I have no idea where that is. But I'm glad you're here. Cool. Actually, I guess maybe I wasn't so close to them then. Or maybe, I have more straight orders than I think. Okay. I actually had one of my first crushes ever was on a librarian. Batgirl. Right? Barbara Gordon, daughter of Police Commissioner Gordon, and she kicked ass on the weekends. Yeah, I don't know if anyone else here fights crime in go-go boots. Sir? Okay, all right. It's okay. It's a safe place if you do. Well, I am here because my first book, The Land of Stories, comes out July 17th, and thank you. I honestly could not be more excited. This book has literally been with me since I was 10 years old. I've made a promise to myself then that I would get it published one day, and luckily I found some success with other venues and was able to get it published. And when I was younger, my mom used to read to me fairy tales every night before I'd go to bed. And I was a very, very inquisitive child, and I used to ask her all kinds of questions like, Mommy, why is the evil queen evil? Mommy, who's the man in the mirror? Mommy, why does she not like Snow White so much? You know, questions like that. And it kind of developed into the story in my head. And a few years later, when my little sister got sick, hi Hannah, for YouTube when she sees it, it really kind of became this amazing escape for me. And I had like this fictitious world in my head that I could just escape to. And I daydreamed at all these adventures that I'd have with these fairy tale characters that we've all grown up with, and things I would say to them, and the witty banter we'd exchange, and the beaches of Mermaid Bay, and all that. And then so when I was about 10, I was like, I have to make this into a book. And I think I was really motivated, thinking like, wow, I have so much fun in this world. I think other kids who are having a rough time could also use this world too. So I decided right then and there that I would write a book. And I started writing the chapters right away, and each chapter was about a page and a half long. And I would write them out of order because I get bored, you know, and I'd say, oh, I want to get to the adventure. So I'd skip like 7 or 8 chapters and just get to that. My grandmother was my first editor, so I'd bring my chapters to her every day. And she'd look them over, she'd grammar check and spell check and tell me that she liked it. But if she did not like it, she'd throw it away and tell me I could do much better. And she was right, and I'm glad she did, because I was able to kind of really work on the story and make it to kind of what it is now. So it's really kind of just been in the back of my head, festering, marinating, and I'm so excited that it's about to be released to the world. Very, very, very nervous and excited, but mostly excited, I'd say. I think when they first approached me, the kid from Glee, about doing a book, I think everyone really wanted me to do like an autobiographical story, or, you know, inspirational autobiography, excuse me. But I really didn't want to be a 20-year-old releasing an autobiography. I mean, it's fine if you are, but I just didn't want to be that guy. Talking about my life experiences. I can only imagine their faces when I said, actually, I would really like to do a children's fantasy novel instead. But thankfully they were game, so that's good. And I was really inspired to tell the original fairy tales in my story. The way that, you know, the Hans Christian Andersen and the Brothers Grimm really truly wanted them to be told, because there's a lot of morals and lessons in these stories that I think have been lost over time with adaptions. In the opening chapter of my book, I have a teacher that's venting to her classroom about how film companies bastardize the tales, and how an upcoming movie depicts Sleeping Beauty as a warrior princess battling zombies, and Cinderella is a struggling hip-hop singer, and it really hurts her soul. And so I'm really excited that hopefully kids will be able to learn and rediscover those classic fairy tales the way that they were always intended to do. I got my first copy, like the first real copy, hardback copy, with a jacket and the map and all the bells and whistles yesterday, and it was really, for me, it was like holding my firstborn child with less fluid. So that was an experience. I totally pulled like a Carrie Bradshaw, where I open it, I look at it, and I put it up on a shelf. I didn't really have a shelf, so I had to make room for one. But yeah, and I also while I'm here, I like to clarify, I did not have a ghostwriter, because people, whenever actors write books, they would say, "Where's your ghostwriter?" There's no ghostwriter. There might have been a ghost, but there was no writer. So you know, sometimes it can be kind of hard when you are an actor in Hollywood and you try to do a different thing. I know that usually when people say, "So Chris, what's coming up for you? What's on the horizon for you?" And I usually say, "Well, I'm publishing a children's fantasy novel." I usually have to follow up with, "I'm serious." And I read these at the BEA, so if any were at BEA, I'm sorry, you can take a nap, same material. But these are actual questions I've gotten from reporters on red carpets and events and all that. So I'd like to read those for you. So Chris, tell us about your book. Will there be singing and dancing in it? No. No singing and dancing. That would be kind of hard because unless it was like a Hallmark gift card, where you open every page and something jumps out at you and sings. But no, that's I'm saving that all for Glee. No singing and dancing in the book. So what's it about then? Well, it's about two twins, or a pair of twins, Connor and Alex, who inherit this magical fairy tale book and travel into the world's fairy tales. Oh, is it autobiographical? No. I'm one person, and I did not inherit a magical book of fairy tales, and I did not travel into another dimension. So no, it's not autobiographical. Now, do you play a gay student struggling for acceptance in this book? No. I'm not in this book. But there are plenty of other lessons and morals in this story. Oh, and what are those lessons? Well, there's a bunch. Like there's one with Cinderella about public opinion and public approval, and there's one where Snow White tells the kids that she's always had this strong request for, she's been on this quest for love and approval from her stepmother, and that's why she's always so kind to little forest animals in the forest, because she just so desperately wants approval because she never got the love that every kid needs from that parent figure. And interestingly enough, in the book, I think I've kind of grew up looking at these fairy tale characters one way, and then once I kind of got into like a place of notoriety myself, I kind of saw these stories through the characters' eyes. So yeah, there's tons of lessons that I use these characters to teach. And why would you want to do that instead of an album? Well, it's just something I promised myself when I was 10, and I'm really, really excited to be sharing it with the world. You wanted to do this since you were 10 years old? So this book has been in your head for 5 years. 22, actually. So it's actually been it's been in my head for a good decade and some change there. So it's had a lot of time to. Now tell us something about working with Lindsay Lohan. So it's been rough. One of, I think, the hardest parts about putting this whole book together was finding an illustrator that really captured the vision that I've had since I was 10. And when I was 10 and kind of started brainstorming about the ideas, I would spend hours drawing pictures of the characters and all that. So I'm gonna show that to you now if I can work this little clicker here. Oh, there it is. Yeah. So that is a drawing that I made when I was 10. I remember I started it in like the 3rd grade during class and took it home to finish it. It's funny when I look at that because there's been some changes made to the story since I first originally thought of it. Like, for an example, Goldilocks, who's in the right corner there, does not have ninja swords anymore. Because I was obsessed with ninjas when I was 10 and thought it'd be cool to have Goldilocks be a ninja warrior. But now I know that's just silly. So now she has a simple sword. And what else? There's a locket right there underneath the Evil Queen's jaw right there. That, I don't know why that was there. I remember I was doing Annie at the time in community theater. So I'm guessing that had something to do with it. What else we got here? There's a broom on the top. I'm not sure what that's for. Maybe I just forgot to add the witch or something. Who knows? Yeah, so it's cool to look at that. It's kind of depressing because as I was writing this book, Alex and Connor, the twins, the main guys of the story, were always my age. So they were 10 when I was 10, and then when I turned 11, I made them 11 in the story. And then I turned 12, and they were 12. And then I got to be 13, and they were 13. And then I got to be 14, and I was entering high school, and suddenly they were entering high school. And I thought, I can't have these kids be my age anymore. I have to keep them 12 to keep the innocence alive with these, with their interaction with the fairy tales. So my imaginary best friends have sort of become my imaginary children, which is a weird Freud complex, I'm sure will be diagnosed later in life. But yeah, because I was so visual and had spent so much time knowing who these characters were and what they looked like and what the castles looked like and what different trees grew in which kingdoms of the fairy tale world, it was really, really important for me to find someone that could have that same vision as me. And luckily, thank God we found the illustrator Brandon Dorman, who really is absolutely amazing. And here, let me show you the final cover, which will be released with the book. There it is. So you can see the similarities with the Frogman and the twins and all that in the Land of Stories. Poor Brandon Dorman had to work with me. And that's probably why he's not here, because I am convinced he also has a restraining order against me. Brandon, wherever you are, I'm sorry, please return my calls. I totally worship your ability, because you're amazing. I would like to read some of the emails he and I exchanged, and this will tell you how abused this man was. So every chapter has its own illustration, because the kids go on this massive scavenger hunt through the Land of Stories. So each chapter they find a new item, and so every chapter opens with a picture of the item that they find. So one of the notes that I said to him was, "Can the Troll King's crown be more Camelot, less Viking?" Which I'm sure makes perfect sense to everyone in here. Rapunzel's tower has one window. Think more prison, less penthouse. Can the twins be positioned on the cover a little more outward and not look so scared as they fall to a possible death? Makes sense to me. I don't know why I'm laughing. The gingerbread house should have a candy cane fence, not a gumdrop fence. That's just silly. The Saber of the Sea, which is an item that the twins collect in the book, has a handle made of coral and shells with a blade made of glass. Somehow he managed to pull that off. I'm not sure how he did it, but he took that and made it happen. One of my favorite notes. The magic mirror is tall and is a rectangular half circle with a black frame and vines made out of cast iron weaving in and out of it like snakes. Also, there's a silhouette of a man standing inside the mirror. You know, like a stalker looking through a window on a foggy day. Because I don't know how your stalkers look, but mine always have that kind of, that grim silhouette. And one of my favorite notes, which I just remembered, so I wrote this one down, especially for you guys. The title at the top, okay. Can the "of" in the title, The Land of Stories, be literally 3 millimeters lower so the title looks more straight and less arched? I literally got out a ruler and measured this specific length of how much I wanted the "of" to come down. Oh gosh, I'm a mess. So when it came time to send Brandon kind of a description of the map, the actual map of the fairy tale world that I kind of envisioned, I felt so sorry for him, because I was like, oh, I'm going to send him like all these paragraphs, and what is he going to do? How's he going to do this? So what I did was I just ended up sending him the map that I think I made in either 6th grade or junior high. I made this map of the fairy tale world on Microsoft Paint. So let's see if there it is. So I made that map, and I really just wanted it to kind of look like that. And I was really kind of, Not sure if he could do as good a job as I did with this map. I spent at least 4 hours on this map on my computer. I didn't want to say anything to the publishers or anything. Why don't we just put my map